Pioneer Tower. Family apartments.
Anything good to watch tonight?
Well, there's Silence of the Sands.
I mean, I want to watch it sometime, but I want something light, upbeat.
Well, I made a suggestion. Why don't you make one?
I, was thinking maybe Muzzle and Me?
The kid movie?
What? That little Ashta cracks me up. And it's just cute. It's funny.
You never cease to amaze me. Feel free to grab anything you need.
The way the two of them were standing facing away from each other with their bodies and then just like twisting their heads around to talk to each other was awkward.
Just so you know, your mother's missed you. Like a lot.
Does that mean you didn't miss me?
I still can't believe it. Constellation. The stories make them seem so exotic, so, well, romantic almost. How is it for real? You liking it?
Of course. People are really amazing. I just hope I'm worthy. So far, so good. I'm still wrapping my head around being invited to join, honestly. I don't think it's for me, Dad, but it beats mining. People are really amazing. I just hope I'm worthy.
Don't you worry yourself about that. All your life, you've been just this mess of potential waiting for a chance. Your number's finally been called, and the settled systems had better be ready for you. I've got some news of my own. You are now officially looking at a retiree. Taught my final class last Thursday. The faculty threw me a party and everything. It's too bad you weren't here then. You could have had some cake.
A mess of potential is the term you chose. Awesome. Congrats, Dad. The university was lucky to have you. You always told me life is a classroom. Looks like you'll never retire. I always thought you should do more than teach. You think you're gonna miss it?
Teaching? I'll miss some of it. Occasionally, I got a student that I could really connect with and make a difference. Those are the ones that kept me going. It didn't matter if they tested well, if it lit a passion in them. That's the stuff. But most of the time, no. I won't miss it at all.
Congrats. The university was lucky to have you.
I gave it my good old college try. You see what I did there? Enough about that. Anything you want to talk about before you have to go? I mean, stay. Stay as long as you like, but I imagine you're all excited to get to discovering.
Got any plans? You guys need anything? How are things going? Or remove kid stuff trait. I'm not sure if I can keep sending money back home. I'm not going to remove the trait. I didn't even realize I was sending money, but I assume given the fact that I have a fortune that I'm not sending much. Got any plans?
Planning a proper, honest-to-goodness vacation. Nothing too fancy. I've been promising your mom a trip for years, and I got no excuses now. Your mother's been sending me links all day about such and such deals and excursions, but it'll be good to get out.
I hear there's some great sightseeing tours. You guys need anything?
You know, it's supposed to be us taking care of you, right? I'd like to say we'll pay you back the money you sent home. Well, I appreciate it. We appreciate it. More than you know.
How are things going?
Retirement's treating me well, but there are some days I almost missed the classroom. Don't say anything to your mom about this, but she got some work done at Enhance. She keeps looking younger every day, I tell her. Not that I mind.
Okay.
Oh, I know all about her. You worked on that for days. Are we looking for solutions or sympathy?
You don't know where that is?
Fred from the poker group said
I moved them to
90%
the
of all
bottom
marital
shelf
What
would go away.
ages ago.
is going on?
Whether
You should
need
pay
to offer help
attention.
or a
Of
friendly
all the
ear.
places we've lived,
Then
this
that
is my
Regina
favorite.
is a monster. There ought to be a law.
Okay, the two of you just shouted at each other about different conversations, so that's fun. What about you? Anything to say?
I still can't get over you being here. And it's not even Mother's Day. So, I gotta ask, is there anyone special in your life?
Typical
You being
mother
in
question.
Constellation Now, I imagine you are quite the catch.
Yeah, I caught the head of Constellation. I think I may have found someone. I do not want to be talking to you about this. Nothing to report you. I may have found someone. Definitely can't say no when she's standing right next to me.
I knew it. You have that spring in your step. A mother knows. I won't press, dear. Don't worry.
You think you found someone? Oh, very nice.
I know you didn't live in this apartment long, but I want you to consider this your home away from home. Your bed is always yours, no questions asked. I mean, well, I will ask questions, but you can stay here no matter the answers.
I have a penthouse in this city. Just tossing it out there. I really appreciate it. I could do without the 3rd degree. Why did you guys never settle down?
It's complicated. Maybe one day I'll get into it. But neither of us mind moving. I think we both have a bit of nomad in us. I think, though, New Atlantis is our forever home.
Well, I really appreciate it.
No bother at all. Stay as long as you like. Anything you want to talk about, dear?
Any gossip? You ever consider moving someplace cheaper? New Atlantis is pricey. What are you doing these days? Any gossip?
One of your old classmates made junior VP at Galbank. Their father was bragging for hours. Can't wait to tell him about Constellation.
Ever consider moving someplace cheaper?
Oh, ain't that the truth? With both of our pensions, we still couldn't afford it. But with what you send home, well, we get by. And of all the places we've lived, New Atlantis is just so full of culture and life.
What are you doing these days?
Now that we're both retired, you mean? I keep trying to push your father to do things. Dance lessons, vacation, take some courses. I'm really interested in early colonial art. But he's just happy as a clam reading in his chair for hours. Wants to know the history of every little thing. It's nice to have time to do both, though.
Yep.
I missed you so much, darling.
You gonna go yell at each other for a bit?
Sandra contacted me. Again.
Ugh,
They still want you to consult, don't they?
they are not used to anyone saying no.
Do you regret it?
Not one bit. When I go to sleep, I got a clean conscience. Working for them, it would be hard to look myself in the mirror. You are still all right with that? The signing bonus alone.
I love you all the more for it.
All right. Well, I guess we'll head out. Okay. So next on our list of missions, I think it's finally time to go talk to the Keeper Aquilus. About Unity. That was ages ago. But let's get a little further in the main quest, see where that takes us. Because the main quest was still very interesting. The whole story with the Starborn, what's going on with them. Definitely piqued my interest, and then we've just left it alone. Over this way.
There are worse ways to spend the day than talking.
Okay, so this is, yeah, Mateo from Constellation.
Keeper Aquilus, can we have a moment?
Oh, Mateo. It's been too long. How are your parents? Your mother still struggling with that azalea garden?
No, she figured that out a while ago. Had to adjust the pH levels in the soil. But, Keeper, I didn't come to catch up.
Oh, Well, what's on both your minds?
We need to talk about unity. I think your church is connected to a group of space weirdos. Wow. This is all you, Mateo. We need to talk about unity.
Oh, yeah. How humanity comes together. How we are to love each other even as our universe becomes even more complex.
That's not exactly what we mean. Keeper, when you talk about unity, well, does it mean anything else? Something secret?
Perhaps we should talk about this inside.
Which means potentially yes. It looks so out of place.
Now that we have a little privacy, why don't you tell me exactly what it is that brought you two here?
Started with the discovery of these anomalies, the artifacts. We were attacked by a group called the Starborn. We found a series of temples that grant unusual powers. I don't know if I want to tell him about the artifacts or the temples. So I will start with the Starborn.
We've lost people, Keeper.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. And these Starborn, I take it they're different from the people of the settled systems? There have always been mysteries that seem to defy our understanding of the universe, beyond rational thought. We enter life as an act of someone else's faith in us. There's no way of knowing who we will become, and yet the risk is made anyway. So you've pushed into the unknown, not knowing where it would take you. And it's brought you here.
We know it's a stretch, but we hope you can help us. I don't need a lecture, Keeper. I need answers. This is a mistake. I'm an explorer, not a priest. It's a stretch, but we hope you can help us.
I think I can. If you're willing to find your way in the dark for a bit longer, I can give you a path to discovering its meaning. There's an old story, far older than the Sanctum Universum, of someone who walked the settled systems and saw every corner of it. This pilgrim claimed he found the true meaning of unity. I always thought of it as just a parable for trying to bring humanity together, but maybe it's more.
Let's hear this story then. There must be more to it. I need facts, Keeper, not bedtime fairy tales. Maybe this pilgrim was a Starborn?
I'm not sure if he was, but if what you're looking for is connected, then anything might be possible.
Alright, then let's hear the story.
In my story, the pilgrim met the founders of the House of Enlightenment and the enigmatic cult of the Varun, and he gave them each a part of the truth. Then he goes to his final resting place to live out the rest of his days in contemplation of infinitum addendum, his addition or contribution to the infinite. But what if the story isn't a metaphor, but a code, a way of finding the pilgrim again, or at least his grave?
Infinitum addendum. That's an odd saying, very specific. Sounds like the House of Enlightenment and Varun have the other parts then. Unless this story includes a set of coordinates, we're not finding anything. Infinitum addendum is odd.
Yes, something must be there. I just can't put my finger on it. Maybe the answer will become clear when we have more. The House of Enlightenment and Varun have versions of this story.
Do they? Fine, I'll talk to them. Talking to House Varun seems like a mistake. They're dangerous. If you've already talked to them, why send me?
Because I wasn't looking to find unity in the same sense you are. A fresh set of eyes might reveal the truth.
Talking to House Varun seems like a mistake. They're dangerous. I mean, that... I don't know if I'd necessarily phrase it like that, but more of a, how do I talk to House Varun? Because they always shoot on sight.
Oh yes, typically. But there is a lone zealot that was captured recently for attacking UC ships. I've visited her a couple of times. Hopefully, she'll be willing to talk to you as well.
Okay.
And if you need directions to the Enlightened, they have a branch in the Well helping the poorest citizens of New Atlantis find a better life for themselves.
I'll stay here with the Keeper. We need to catch up. And
Nope.
and I wouldn't mind asking him a few more questions.
All right. Well, you have fun. I'm gonna try finding these people to talk to. Maybe I'll start with the Varun. Looks like we get a choice. House of Enlightenment or the Varun prisoner. I don't know which is which. Ah, Varun prisoner, House of Enlightenment. Let's go here. Convenient that my scanner will let me know that information. Alright. That is a ways away. Oh, we're just going to the train. Alright, spaceport. Is this individual at the spaceport, or am I having to fly to a different planet? House of Enlightenment. Varun prisoner is this way. Doesn't look like my ship, so I guess they are here on planet. I guess that makes sense if the priest has talked to them.
Ah, Captain. It's good to see you again, under much calmer circumstances. You wouldn't be here about the job, would you? Might not be worth your time, considering your rank.
Okay, so this, I think talking to Sergeant Yumi is about the infiltrating, what are they? The pirates. Yeah, infiltrating the pirates. That quest line. Job, tell me about it. Sure I am. I saw the sign outside. Can't say that I am. I've got enough to do right now. Job, tell me about it.
Time security officer. The position's very flexible.
Or not.
You can basically work whenever you're available. No pressure. We've had some gaps in the schedule lately. Macy's out on maternity leave. Jose's on loan to Sidonia. When it rains, it pours type of situation. So really, we just need someone to fill the void. Interested?
Sure. I'm interested, not right now, but maybe some other time, thanks. That kind of job is beneath somewhat of my rank. I'm interested, sure.
Captain. Just keep in mind, this isn't going to involve your usual level of excitement. No mind-altering terramorphs and explosions in the spaceport. Just simple, good old-fashioned police work. Your first assignment couldn't be easier. Go to Mast and check in with Agent Plato at Aegis. There was a package left at a dead drop, and they need UC security to handle it. He'll fill you in on the details.
What's Mass? You mentioned Aegis. Who are they? Why am I bringing this package here and not Aegis? Has there been any fallout from the Terramorph attack?
The whole department is in the process of recovering, myself included. If I'm being honest, I still have nightmares of my team turning on one another. Things can be replaced and wounds can be healed, but building back that trust in each other is going to take time. Luckily, we've built a good culture here, and we hired some new recruits who were inspired by what you did. I've got faith we'll survive this.
Why am I bringing the package here, not Aegis?
Well, just because you're bringing it here doesn't mean that's where it'll end up. As for why, you can ask Aegis. As far as I'm concerned, it's none of my business.
Okay. Who is Aegis?
Aegis? They're basically UC intelligence. They help identify threats to New Atlantis before they become problems. While we're separate departments, there are times we need to rely on each other, so it's important to keep a good working relationship. We do Agent Plato this favor, and maybe he'll toss us some intel when an investigation stalled. Tit for tat. You know how it works.
Okay. And I'm gonna ask what's MAST, even though it's a dumb question.
You know, MAST. The Military, Administrative, and Scientific Triumvirate. Giant building in the center of the city? Headquarters of the entire United Colonies? I really should have given you a more thorough interview.
Alright.
See you later.
Cool. So we got a new quest, but we're still in here to talk to this prisoner.
By the way, Captain, Sergeant Yumi was looking for you. Sounds like he's got more work.
Okay. I already talked to him. Unless I need to talk to him again. Hey, Mirza.
A visitor? I have all the company I need.
I know you've talked to Keeper Keyless about the Varun faith. That is the single loneliest statement I've ever heard. You've talked to Keeper Keyless.
He knows not the truth. He sends another to ask more incessant questions. The Great Serpent waits in the shadows. He will entwine the universe, and all but the faithful will be made as dust. That is the truth. No more, no less.
Keeper Quillis spoke of a pilgrim. I need to know more about him. A cosmic serpent seems like a poor answer to the universe's problems. I admire your conviction. I'm gonna ask the questions I need. Nah. I'd rather answer these other statements because that one's certainly not gonna go away. I admire your conviction.
The knowledge of the Great Serpent sweeps away all concern. There is only his inevitable return, and those he will spare. Nothing else. You wish to speak of the Keeper's Pilgrim, do you not? I will tell you of him, and then you will leave.
I don't know how you knew that.
Meets the unbeliever. He gives false prophecy to Jinan. But such is Jinan's conviction in the Great Serpent, he does not hesitate. He cuts the unbeliever down. But the unbeliever returns. Jinan realizes the Great Serpent is testing him, and he will not be found wanting. 4 times they fight. Over 120 rotations of the planet they are on. Remember these 4 battles, Jinan, the unbeliever says. Remember these 120 rotations. But Jinan knows this is blasphemy, and delivers the killing blow. That is all.
I think I understand. There must be more to your god than just killing. I need to know the meaning of the word unity.
I have heard of no such thing. If it exists, it is a shadow that the Great Serpent casts to deceive the faithless.
Okay. There must be more to your god than just killing.
Strength and conviction show your worthiness to the Great Serpent. The kill is not as important as showing there is no doubt. I grow tired of speaking. Leave me.
Okay. That was a strange tale. So now let's go talk to the House of Enlightenment. And so for them, I need to go down to the well, which I believe is at the mass transit. No, it was here. This goes to the well or the waterfall. Hey, random citizen, I'm taking us down to the well. Hopefully that's where you want to go.
Let me know if I can help you.
House of the Enlightened.
There's
Hello.
a lot of work that needs to be done in the well. A lot of people in need. If it's about the financial or food assistance programs, we are backlogged. Don't worry, we're doing everything we can. Oh, we're not. Sorry. Can I help you?
Keeper Aquila sent me. I need to talk about the Pilgrim. I'm looking for something called Unity, and no, not some vague concept of the word. I'll ask about Unity first, and then hopefully talk about the Pilgrim.
Did Keeper Aquila send you? Oh boy. Listen, I've talked about this with him a ton of times, and there's no record of a Unity Pilgrim. But since you both insist, our early records are mostly administrative. Humanitarian projects, group counseling notes, charity expenditures. But there is a series of exchanges the founding members recorded in a lot of detail. It's the closest thing I have to what Aquilus is describing.
Let's hear it. If you're going to recite meeting notes at me, I want coffee and donuts. Harsh. You've talked about this with Keeper Aquilus before?
Yeah, I mean, he's always going on about trying to bring people of all beliefs together. Really wants there to be some shared story or origin. Look, I like the Keeper, but belief is the problem, okay? We don't need a shared narrative or theology. We need to help each other in practical terms.
That's right. So the House of Enlightenment was the non-religious religion, where they show up doing missionary work, basically saying there is no God, we just need to focus on helping each other. Which is cool. Let's hear it.
A man walks into the first House of Enlightenment. The founding members just call him the Drifter. So they think he's a charity case at first, but no, the Drifter asks them a bunch of questions. If your philosophy is built on an individual's own morality, what about the second person? That second person might disagree. Isn't the problem of two what you're really looking for? And the founders respond, each individual must understand how the second person lifts them up. All of human effort is a story of cooperation pushing us forward. And it kind of goes on like that. He comes back every week for a year. Same conversation every time. Second person this, the problem of two that.
Maybe there's a hidden message in what he was saying. I also hate the number of two with a fiery passion. What do they mean? Each individual must understand how the second person lifts them up.
It's part of our core principles. There's no God pushing us to do good for some eternal reward. We have to help each other because we choose to. If no one takes responsibility for making the settled systems better, then we're just leaving it to the tyrants to bully the rest of us.
Maybe there's a hidden message in what he was saying.
Honestly, I think the founding members made it all up. There was a little more hesitation being openly atheist in the early days. I think they were experimenting with writing their own scripture. Fortunately, that got abandoned pretty quick. After the records of the Drifter end, you never see anything like it again.
Thank you. You've given me a lot to think about. I don't feel any closer to the answers I wanted. Can you tell me anything else about Unity, what it means?
Besides what the Keeper would say about it? Sounds like a gathering point, or a center. Or, in mathematics, it would mean one, like the one, the first or the beginning.
Okay. Thank you. You give me a lot to think about.
Always happy to help. If you'll excuse me, I've got a lot of aid efforts to coordinate.
Okay. So now we gotta go back to the Keeper. If I can figure out how. I'm so bad at directions. Also, I don't think this is how we came in, which is not helping me figure out my way out. Whatever. This works. Maybe that is how I got in. Man, I don't know. But no, this is taking me to the tram, which is not where I got in. So this is a different location. Yeah. So it's not my fault I got lost. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. So they all have stories of a wanderer who went to their individual locations to have discussions with them about their beliefs.
See any heat leeches? You've got our permission to take care of them. Things are dangerous, apparently.
Yeah. Although that hatred of the number 2 was strange. Hello again.
Well, you're back. What did you learn? Was there something hidden in their stories, like we thought?
The enlightened story used the words second and 2. I spoke to the Varun Zealot. She said Jinan fought 4 times over 120 days. In your story, the pilgrim contemplates infinitum addendum. That must mean something. We'll start with the second and 2. The enlightened story used the words second and 2.
Planets are often named by number. That second might mean the second planet in the system. What else did you learn?
I mean, that is a rough assumption. Varun Zealot said Jinan fought 4 times over 120 days.
If there really is a location the pilgrim wanted us to find, those do sound awfully like coordinates. Was there anything else?
Okay. In your story, the pilgrim contemplates infinitum addendum.
Yes. What he added to infinity. Maybe that points to a name. If we're looking for his resting place, we'd need to know the name of the star system, wouldn't we? Let's see. We have something that could be coordinates. Something that could point to a planet in the system. But what's the name of the system? Infinitum addendum. What if we break down the parts? No systems named finite or add. That just leaves in and dumb. Well, that's certainly how I feel.
Indum? That's the name of a star system. That's the name of the star system. I think I have everything I need now. Next planet I find, I'm naming Dum Dum. What do you think? I've got to ask it.
Well, I suppose that'll make someone laugh.
Indum. That's the name of the star system.
Yes, that's it. The second planet in Indum. At 4 and 120. That's where you'll find the pilgrim's resting place. And from there, maybe you'll find the true meaning of unity. Before you go, you've now spoken to many different perspectives in our universe. In a way, you'll be carrying their philosophies with you on this journey. I know you're looking for a specific unity, but if you had to guess what it was, what interpretation would you give it?
There's something sacred out there, bringing everything together. It's just a word, and I need to take responsibility for finding it, not pray. Only total conviction will bring us the truth. We are being tested. I'm not going to say something sacred. I also won't say it's just a word. I think conviction will bring us the truth.
Conviction. Another word for strength. Can the truth not be revealed to the weak? Someone with doubts.
I won't find the answer by doubting every step I make. Conviction carries the doubtful to the truth. Isn't doubt the very opposite of belief?
That belief can come and go could be argued to be the very mechanics of faith itself. Like breathing air in and out. What do you believe?
I won't find the answer by doubting every step I make.
Your only path is forward, then? Finding the meaning of unity is a totality that you cannot ever step away from? Well, I won't keep you any longer. This has been fun, I have to admit. Go, find your truth.
Okay. His word puzzle was terrible. The idea that infinitum addendum was just pieces, and he broke it down, and he's like, oh, it must mean indum, is terrible. The 4 and 120 sound like coordinates. They're numbers. They could be anything. Like, that reminds me of the old Batman movie, where they're just like, oh, it happened at the C. C, that stands for Catwoman or whatever. Like, nonsense like that, where the connections just don't make any sense, but they all pretend they totally do. Because they didn't bother putting together a proper, intelligent trail. This one, I'm sure he's correct, and there is a star system called Indum that will have something magical at those coordinates. But it doesn't make sense that that should actually work. Like, oh, his story had the number 2 in it a couple of times. Definitely need to go to the second planet of a random star system. Because that's the only thing that the number 2 could mean.
Aren't you the one I saw running away from that crazy guy? Man, New Atlantis gets crazier by the day.
That was a while ago, but yes. So we're going back to our starship to find the second planet of Indum.
Captain Orion, do
Hey.
you require my assistance?
I do not.
I have something for you when you have a moment.
Later. First, I've got to go to Indum. Alright, and now inside of Indum, we are looking for the second planet of which it already started us at, Indum 2. And there's a convenient location called Pilgrim's Rest.
Touching down.
Alright, exit the ship. While I'm at it, let's look at perks, because I've got 3 points. If we go to ballistics, I have gotten all the points I needed to rank up, so we'll do more damage. Now we need to kill 100 enemies, and same with rifle. Ooh, reloading faster while you're standing still. Not super important. Ballistics will give me more range. I don't know if that's terribly important. So we've got uranium on this planet. Definitely people have been here and relatively close to this Pilgrim's Rest. Beryllium, aluminum. What else do we have on this planet? You're not going to tell me? Okay, those are enemies. So I will avoid alerting and upsetting them. Water, copper, aluminum, argon. Not a ton of great materials. Okay, none of that's super important.
Look at all this. Whoever lived at this homestead seemed to have settled in for the long haul.
Yeah. Doesn't seem like an ancient location.
Got anything on your scanner?
Not particularly. Let's head further in. Is this harmful liquid? No, just water. Even though it's in the middle of uranium. Alright, quest-wise though, we are heading 20 steps this way. Pilgrim's Writings 2. So here's the crux of my troubles. To accomplish anything, I need to work with other people. I need assistants, I need workers, I need hands. As we work together, they inevitably ask questions, and I can never help talking. It starts innocently enough. They want to understand how someone who believes in science can also believe in the divine, or they have their own misunderstanding instilled by some borderline religious remnant. My weakness is my inability to let alone. I want them to understand, so I try, gently as I might, to nudge their minds along the right path. Then there are follow-ups and followings. The trouble is that I genuinely care for these people. It would be so much easier if I didn't. Okay, there is a Pilgrim Writing. Is there Pilgrim's Writing 1 around anywhere? What am I supposed to do? Search for clues on Unity. I guess that means go into some of the buildings and look around. Don't need random meat. Take the med pack. Pilgrim's Writings 1. The credulous simplicity of mundane humans never cease to amaze me. My worst instincts, the evil spirit, draws me towards a form of contempt for them, but I remember that I am privy to that which they are not. I cannot and should not judge them for their lack of vision when I know very well the blinders which obscure their sight. I once wore them myself, after all. I hope for their sake that they may someday understand, but for my sake I wish to be left alone. I wish to be left alone. Okay. I am not lazy, or I'm not crazy. Sure. Okay, that's definitely what we need to look at now. Anything else of interest while we're in here? Pilgrim's Writings 5. Okay. I find myself thinking about his various pasts and my possible futures. I imagine continuing on the road, acquiring more power, more knowledge, more development of myself. I imagine passing through once more to another world to begin the process anew. What is notable here, that road does seem gratifying. Every step is one of intrinsic reward, and I feel myself anticipating the pleasures and seeing a more contented version of myself in that future. Then, for the sake of considering all possibilities, I imagine if I took a different path, if I stopped running, stopped seeking to gather my own power, if I instead embraced the twinges of compassion I feel in my heart, and let myself care for the people who seem to gather about me wherever I try to work, if I simply lived and taught, and perhaps brought others to the light, and died, that road also seems gratifying. I also see a contented version of myself in that future. Here is the difference, though. When I stop thinking about the glories I could achieve for myself, the pleasure fades. Pleasure fades nearly immediately. When I stop thinking about staying and building something, the feeling endures. There's something more sustaining about it, more fulfilling. I don't know what this difference signifies, but I'm grateful for the time I've taken to notice it. Okay. Pilgrim's computer. Unlock personal room. If you came seeking the right answers, you will know what question to ask. What are you talking about? How do I open this door? Where's the food? What is the Unity? I return your question with a question. If you have read my writings, what is the burden of people? People are necessary, but people are madness. They're too heavy. People gotta go on diets. We all seem to end up just fighting each other. That is an answer, but it's not my answer. Find my writings. Read them closely. People are necessary, but people are madness. Who is your most formidable opponent? I think I need to find more writings before I keep digging in, because that one doesn't sound familiar to me. Okay. So let's go back out and search some more for more writings, because we found 1, 2, and 5. Presumably there are 3 and 4. Writings 4. At last, a bit of peace. A piece of peace. Is that anything? Is that funny? Why am I trying to be funny? Have I driven me mad at last? Is there a difference between writing to myself and talking to myself? The former certainly seems more acceptable than the latter. I recall again that my mind is my own, and that even if only it exists, that is sufficient for me to believe in everything else. The unity has restored me once more. This time I act alone, for now. Myself is a formidable opponent. So that was the answer to that question. Myself is a formidable opponent. I should have expected as much, but vanity is, thankfully, not among my vices. Regardless, it turns out time spent in solitude is, in my case, time with a very sick man, or whatever it is I have become. I don't like this person. And Pilgrim's Writing 3. Today, in a soft voice, my assistant asked me if there was anything above the unity. It was all I could do to keep from shouting that I could scarcely comprehend the misunderstandings that would lead to such a question. It was asked honestly, and I answered as best I could, but if even my closest confidant here can fail to grasp the most basic of these truths, why am I bothering to explain any of it to any of them? Every word that drops from my mouth gets gobbled up, misheard, misremembered, misunderstood, and mistranslated before I can issue this slightest clarification. People are necessary, but people are madness. So that was the first question. I attempted to withdraw, to go off alone, to commune with unity in my own way. They followed. Of course they followed. Okay. That was writings 1 through 5. I don't know. There might be a 6th, but I'm going to assume that's enough until proven otherwise. Okay, what is the unity? People are necessary, but people are madness. Myself is your most formidable opponent. Where does enduring contentment come from? In growing, becoming better, stronger, a nice cool drink on a warm day? In stopping and embracing compassion? I think? You came here seeking the true meaning of unity. If you still wish to find it, there is one final piece of myself in the next room. I found my own answer a long time ago, but not in the way I was expecting. I hope your journey gives you the truth. Okay. Pilgrim's final writings. Nice pistol, I guess. Permanently increases EM weapon damage by 5%. Cool. Anything else of note before I check out the last book? Ear grub paperweight. Gross. Ooh, some credits. Encased alien trilobite. Utility knife you've just stabbed into whatever that is. Cool. Your final writings. I don't know what the correct answer is. I might never. Increasingly, though, I am comfortable with not knowing. The more I reflect on being here in this world, in this time, the more I think it is precisely where I need to be. This time will be different. It won't be about me, so I won't have to run. I can actually build something with intent instead of scrambling to fix something that others create in my name. It can be something beneficial. I can be something beneficial. I'm leaving behind that other person. This world has no place for him. Let him die. Let me live to enlighten the blessed universe before me. You have found the end of my journey, but to know everything, you must find its beginning. On Hyla 2, the island hides the scorpion, and the scorpion's sting hides the truth. Okay. Find the scorpion's sting on Hyla 2. Strange, but alright.